So, my dear Leo, you're getting a second time Aries Sun highlighting Leo Moon. Last time, your soul retrieval brings healing and emotional intelligence. And soul retrieval is really going deep, is really looking what's going on there, deep in my subconscious, and that's what the soul urges us to do, to take out the programmings, right, that we have until our 7th year. 7-year-old, that's where the programming begins to stop. But of course, sometimes it goes even longer than that. And so I'm gonna go really quick through. The sun in Aries is giving the light to the moon in Leo. Leo is the 8th major arcana and Aries is the 4th major arcana. Two fire signs coming together. And so here we have the Queen of Wands and here we have the King of Wands, which is of course for you here the King of Fire in the Good Tarot. I have listed all the tarot decks that I'm using and their positions and of course the dates, because Leo is between July 13 and August 12. If your birthday is there, then this is your court card. If not, look in the description below. I have listed all of them. We're going to the left. We're going to your new moon. And so the lion is actually intuitive, going to the soul, inside the introverted path that we need to understand that is happening through the moon phases. That we sometimes feel like, oh, I have to go out there, but I don't really feel like it. And this is the reason, right? Because slowly the moon is getting less and less and it's waning and we go to the new moon. And so Aries, the emperor, here is giving the light through the sun, right, to the moon, and you feel the influence of Aries. Aries is ruled by Mars, and Mars is also ruling the tower. So we're gonna look into the tower this month, what the tower is wanting to tell you. And you are ruled by the sun. The sun is your planet or star, dwarf star, right? That is giving you the energy. And so just understand that the sun is everything about your personality and how you appear to the people out there. The yoga position for Aries is the meditation, because his body part is the brain. And the yoga position for you is Simhasana, because your body part is the heart. And so here the lion's pose is very important. When you take that, you are feeling strong and fierce. In the Good Tarot, the emperor is actually like a lion, dressed up in this regal attire. And so just that you see, right, this is actually the Ethereal Vision Tarot, and I gave this to the Aries, and for you it's the Good Tarot, right? And so this is happening only once a year, but if we include all the other planets, this happens only once in your life. And so to get a second time Aries, right, sun, giving you the push, giving you the strength to really go out there and see what needs to go. What is it that I can let go? Because the tower is a crisis, and we have the 10, which is the wheel of fortune, and the 6, which is self-love. And back then, your soul retrieval brings healing and emotional intelligence to you, which is important to understand what that means, right? Emotional intelligence is something that we cannot buy. It's something that we learn, because when we go through a crisis, the way we go through it will help us to understand my emotions, my reactions to certain emotions. So we're going to look into the animal spirit oracle and see what animal is helping you. You are an animal, you are the Leo, the lion, and the lion is the king of the jungle, right? Oh wow, look at you. You get the black egg. And so here we are not in the 4 elements. It's very interesting, right? Because he's the number 4. So he's the squareness, he is the 4. And in that 4, right, we are sometimes stuck, the 4 elements. And the black egg is... The black egg is the 5th chakra. Speaking from an authentic voice, the truth. The black egg contains one of life's essential treasures, the truth. Inside of it resides no confusion, excuses, small talk, noise, or lies, not even white ones. This living and breathing vessel harbors only that which rings true. When this essence is in balance, we speak slowly and clearly. We are drawn to activities like writing, reading, teaching, singing, or perhaps public speaking. Sounds draw us in, books draw us in, the concept of truth itself draws us in. We start asking questions like, what do I know to be true about myself, and what is true about the world? When the energy of the black egg is not yet accessed, we speak from an unsure place. We say things others want to hear, gossip, or repeat stories to justify our superb behavior. We might even try to convince ourselves that we have no inner truth at all. The energy of the black egg hovers and waits for us to reconnect. It is available at every moment, in every situation. It's the epicenter of truth, the birthplace of our voice. The black egg in the 5th chakra. The subtle essence of this card resides at the base of the throat, at the Vishuddha chakra. The ancient sages saw this center as the hub that governs our speech and expression. Vishuddha translate as especially pure. The balance of this center is important for all of us, but is especially essential for writers, editors, musicians, and teachers. And it's really interesting. I really have to say that I got an email today from a writer who is doing some research over a yoga teacher, over someone that teaches this craft, right? And so he wants to look over my shoulders and wants to see, right, what I do and how I do it. But it's interesting so that this is coming up. So it's really every reading I feel something is talking to me, and that's what I can give you, right? And so here the Tower, like I said, is then the Wheel of Fortune plus the 6, the self-love. The crisis is there so that you learn to awaken to your true power. And so the 7 is left, the emotional intelligence is left that you had here in the last reading, right? And the healing and the emotional intelligence that through the soul retrieval has come to you is bringing you now the black egg. And so the 7 and the 5 is the 12, and the 12 is the Hanged Man. And the Hanged Man is this butterfly that is hanging here and is coming out of the soul retrieval. So I think what's happening here, since this is the second time, it's almost like reminding you, be true to yourself. Be really honest, right, in how you want to live your life now. after that soul retrieval brought you healing and emotional intelligence. And that's what the 7 brings you. It's the result of a crisis. And so the 12, the hangman, it's like it's the moment of enlightenment, and then the 3 is left. And the 3 is the empress. The 3 is the feminine counterpart to the emperor, which is the 4. The 3 is the triangle. The 3 is learning to see that out of the 3 we get the new energy being grown, right? 2 people coming together. The 3rd is the child. And so we begin the reading, and we're going to the left to the new moon, like I said, and here on the position of the Fool, which is connected with Uranus, and Uranus is the revolution comes the King of Pentacles. And the King of Pentacles is Taurus, which is connected with the 5th chakra. He is literally the 5th major arcana. He comes after Aries. And actually, in the next reading, the sun is going to be in Taurus. And so Taurus is speaking here to you, letting you know, yes, you are now speaking the truth about your financial situation, everything that has to do with finances, with banks, with loans, with whatever it is. And you see how she is calling her ancestors, she's calling her guides, and she's calling them, and she's like, help me to clear all of what I need to clear, help me to speak my truth, help me to make this come true, because he's the 2nd house of worth. What are you worth, and how you speak about it is coming up here, right? Then on the position, or the magician brings you here as a position, of course, here the time master. And the time master is the number 57, which came up here, right? The 7 and the 5. And so there is again a 12 that is speaking to you. Again, the 12 is the Wheel of Fortune and the High Priestess, that intuition that is letting you know, well, when you look at the money from the time master's perspective, time doesn't exist. If you're in the now, then you're in the now, and the now is bringing you everything that you need to know and what is important so that you can speak the truth. And so the 12 here again is the 3. And so there is a 3-3 portal, the 33, which is from the secret brotherhood, the mastery, the degree that you can reach when you work in the secret brotherhood. And the 3-3 is framing the banks, the finances, the power, right? And so you will take that to consideration, and he's looking over to him. And so the 1 plus here, the 57, we get the 58, and so the 58 is the 13. The 13 is Scorpio, death, transformation, a big transformation, and the 4 is then left here. So Mercury is bringing you the information that time doesn't exist. And of course I want to see what is time bringing, and time is bringing you the 9 of Cups. And the 9 of Cups is Jupiter in Pisces, and Jupiter is the expansion. Jupiter is letting you know, right, in Pisces, letting you know that the 12, the Hanged Man, is also the 12th house of spirituality and art. And when a card is reversed, it's almost like you lost time enjoying yourself because you were financially worried about something. You were, maybe calling into your ancestors and asking them to help you. And so the 9 plus, of course, the 4 that was left with the magician, right? So is again the 13, and the 13, the transformation comes to you. The transformation is letting you know that the 4 is left, and you gotta understand that you need to look deeper into every sign that is coming to you, and that you cannot waste time to not be happy. Enjoy the Nine of Cups as the Jupiter in Pisces, and don't let that go to waste ever. Come together with people with whom you can chill here. It's chilling, basically, right? It's like, with whom can you chill? And it's almost like you lost time to chill. And it's because maybe you worry too much about money, or you're thinking too much about how you can work with the money that you have. So then on the position of the High Priestess comes the Six of Cups. And so 6 cups and 9 cups are 15 cups, and the 15 is Capricorn. The 15 is the attachment to the happiness. Well, I used to be happy and now I'm not happy anymore. How come? In the past, I remember times they were amazing. How come they're not there anymore? Well, you need to be now. Time doesn't exist, right? And so you need to know that the 6 of Cups, which is connected with Sun in Scorpio, and Scorpio has come with the 13 twice, and then the 4 is left, which is the Emperor, which is the squareness, that you learn to be intuitive in the way you love yourself, because that's the 6 in the Tower. And when you love yourself, then you can move from the black egg into the unicorn, the third eye. And the 5 is always the test through the 5 senses. And so the 6 and the 2 is, of course, the 8, and the 8 is you. Here you come, you with your super powers, right? You have that strength. You have Leo that is calling you to always understand your intuition, always understand that you're a leader, always that you are powerful, always that you are quite self-conscious, because you are such an enigmatic personality. And even the Emperor here in this deck has the Leo character here, right? And it's like, okay, there we go, right? You are magnificent. And so see that you can create time for this. Make time for this. Make time to enjoy yourself. And so the 9 and the 6 is the 15, is Capricorn, is the devil, is that attachment to certain outcomes. And it's like, no, just enjoy now, this moment. Because when we calculate it together, we get then the 6. And then the 6 is then that self-love, a real self-love that cannot go and be like, oh well, I can just leave the things the way they are. And you cannot. You gotta look. You gotta look deeper into the Lord of Pleasure. Look at that. And that's, of course, connected with the past. Then on the position of the Empress, which is connected with Venus, comes the Fool. Le Fou, French deck, and he is facing the right, the outer perspective. Most fools go left. And so there's a 0 and a 3, this is the 30, but the 3 again, the Empress, this kind of energy that is saying, well, I'm going to create something completely new, and in the way I see my finances, because on the Fool came Taurus, and Taurus sits here and he's crossing his legs, because then he can think much clearer, and he's like united here at his ankles, and he's like, okay, how I'm gonna put this money to use. And you are thinking that you need to make sure that the money is put in the right place, even though this crazy idea here that is coming to you in the way you are handling the money, in the way you are as an Empress dealing with money. It's like, I can do it. And you are doing it. Because then Aries is bringing you the 4 of Wands. And the Four of Wands is, of course, connected with Venus in Aries. And Venus in Aries is giving you a new start in the way you celebrate yourself, a high time. The 4-4, it's a 44 portal. And a 44 is always that moment where you recognize that you had a 4 here, right? With the 57 and the 1, the 58 is the 13. The 13 calculated together is the 4. And so recognize that you understand that you are learning, to acquire or inquire deeper into a certain high time, into a certain happiness, that brings you a celebration of a higher consciousness, right? Because the 4 is again the stability that is coming here through Aries to you. It's almost like the sun is saying, yes, remember the sun is, of course, with you, but the sun right now is in Aries. And so remember the high times. Remember the times when you were like enjoying here, the times. And it's important that we recognize those times, but they're done. Now, enjoy yourself now. Then on the position of the King of Fire, which is in the center of the reading, which is you, comes here the pages of Earth. And the pages are Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. And so we did have Taurus coming. And we did have the 15 as the devil, right? The 15 cups. Capricorn, and we didn't have a 9 yet. Maybe it's come. No, we did have a 9. The 9 is connected with the Hermit, which is Virgo. So understand that you get a young generation here that is looking at you and is saying, okay, a high time, I can do that. I can fly into a high time, because the 5 and the 3 is the 8, and so the 8 again is your number, and the 5th house of joy. Enjoy yourself with the young generation that is literally looking at you very innocently and is saying, well, come and play with us, come and play with the money in a new way, invest in the young generation. Almost like the solution is here. And if you invest into the new generation, you will see here the 8 is coming, and that's the infinite symbol of, yes, then you can make your money grow in a way that you never thought of. And then the high time of the 4 of Wands is here. And of course the 44, right? The 44, or also here, you are like, then you see the high time here, right? Then you see, okay, I am the king of the jungle. Then on the position of Leo, Leo is bringing you the 2 of Swords, which is connected with the constellation Moon in Libra. And Moon in Libra is that moment where we are in the scale, seeing that one bird is up and one bird is down. And the bird that is up is to the right. The world outside is up here, but you are looking to the left because you're going to the new moon. This child is looking at you directly. She is looking to the left, and he is looking to the left. And so your intuition is coming and saying, go deeper within, and then you know what to do with the young generation and with the finances, because it's something that you need to really look into and find the heart in it, find the passion in it, how you can make that money of yours go, to the next level. Why not? I mean, if we invest in the right companies, and nothing will happen to your money, right? Because you invest in the young generation that is doing the things the right way, right? These are like, right, the people that are buying a place and they are letting other people to help them to create a farm and people can invest and help them. And I think it's, there are really new ways of dealing with money that are now coming to you and finding an equilibrium in all of that. And when we look at it, it's the 8 and the 2 is the 10, a new cycle in the way you using your strength, in the way you understand mentally how to work with the money, because the moon is in your sign right now, and so the subconscious is feeling this, like how to play with the money. And then on the position of the moon as the dream oracle that is coming here, the gathering around, the power of the community, comes the 26. The 20 is the last judgment, which is always that moment where it's my calling to be in a group setting, in a gathering with others. And of course the 6 again is the self-love. I find who I am in this gathering, and the power of the community is bringing you then again the 8. And the 8 is, like I said, you. And the 8 is that infinite strength that you gain, because the 9 of the 18 calculated together and the 8 is the 17, is Aquarius. And Aquarius is your opposite sign. That's when you get normally your full moon from, the light for your full moon. But now you're going to the new moon where you have sun and new moon both in your sign. And so the 17 is the star and the sun is a dwarf star. So here you are getting the 17 and the 8 left. But I wanted to see what is happening here, and I see the 2 of Cups, Venus in Cancer, and you had 15 Cups, and you're already calculating, good. You have now 17 Cups, and 17 Cups is again Aquarius, the age of Aquarius, because Pluto, the number 20, is going into Aquarius for 20 years, the end of November. And guess what? Aquarius is your opposite sign. And the 20 is connected with Pluto as the calling. And so here you have the 17 Cups, which is again Aquarius. And the 8 appears. Beautiful, right? And so the 8 and the 2 is a 10. A new cycle can begin. A new cycle that is letting you know you have a 10-10 portal. And the 10-10 is then 2 times the 1. That's like, again, the inner teacher appears. You are learning and you are using the wisdom. But here in this gathering, you might actually meet someone. You might actually fall in love with someone and connect and make with this person a real dream come true, because there is a 2-2 portal, and the 22 is here connected with the Fool, and on the position of the Fool came Taurus. So maybe there's a Taurus that is coming in your life, right? A Taurus that is saying, hey, I'd like to hang out with you and see if we could, create even here a community of our own. And so the 10 is then that spiritual cycle of the Wheel of Fortune that is saying, yeah, then you will see that everything will be created by the Wheel of Fortune as that push, as that, yes, that's where we're going. Because on the position of the Sun comes here the 15, the Earth, which for me it's like, this is Capricorn, this is the Queen of Pentacles. And so the Sun, which is the 19, is then, of course, the 10, and the 15 is the 6. We get the 16, and the 16, remember, brought you through the Tower, the egg, the truth, speak the truth. The 5 is in here, speak the truth. Know that now if you want to move ahead, if you want to connect with someone, you got to speak the truth right away. You're not going to waste any time, because the 16 creates the emotional intelligence, the 7 And that emotional intelligence has come up back in the last reading, and you gotta understand the emotional intelligence makes you really attractive, right? The more we are speaking our truth, the more we understand there is an importance in seeing that this gathering is important, that the Aquarian energy is the gathering, is the community, is the new technology, that we can also create a new community. And it's important for us to see, because you are learning through that. And of course, I want to know what is coming here when you understand that you are here, the earth, and that you are the six, the Nine of Wands upright, and the Nine of Wands is connected with Moon in Sagittarius, so you have a 9-9 portal, 2 times the 9. You have the Nine of Cups reverse, and now you have the Nine of Wands upright. And so take action. Moon in Sagittarius, Sagittarius is the night, and so take action in seeing what is happening here, in seeing that this gathering is something that you want, and that you can connect with many people, and that you can create here under the sun, because the sun brought you here the Four of Wands, right? Remember? So in a way, the 15 and the 4 creates the 19. The sun is here, right? And so the sun said, yes, take that action. Take that action to get deeper within, even though you're living your life to the outer world, and take care of the finances, right? But remember, the 10 and the 6 is again the 7, the emotional intelligence, the 7 and the 9 is also the 16, and the 16 again, the emotional intelligence, is saying understand that you are needing to use your emotional intelligence. You cannot just act, you gotta meditate, and this is what here Aries is bringing. Meditate, learn to look deep within. Even Leo can meditate, right? Even that wild side deep within you can meditate and find the balance between here these two thoughts, the inhale and the exhale, right? That you are the inhale and the exhale. And so here, of course, we see again that the 7 is left. And the 7, the emotional intelligence, is all we need for in this life. And then comes on the position of the world here, the Muse of Emotions, a Scorpio. And Scorpio, as you can see, is really beautiful the way these cards are done. He is the King of Cups. And the King of Cups came here as the Sun in Scorpio. In the past, you had fun, but now there is more of a seriousness in the way you are working with the earth. And you see she's like so content, right? She's like in her zone, she's in her home is in her head. And so the 6 of Cups, it's always that moment where we recognize I am ready, because this is the 8th house of reincarnation. I am ready after the last reading, the soul retrieval. I am ready to take on this new life in this world, because the world is the 21. Again, the 20 is the calling, right? And the calling here is bringing you the magician that is creating the magic in this world. And then from there, the 3 is here. The 8 and the 3 is the 11. The intelligence, the inner teacher, the wisdom that is coming is bringing you the 11. And the 11 is the inner teacher, is the inner wisdom that is helping you now to be in your emotions, clear in the way you facing the world, which is connected with Saturn. And Saturn is always the lessons, the borders, and the finger. And you are learning to see now that the black egg is bringing you the truth, right? And you see here these black lines, and here in the egg the same type of lines, and it's almost like There's an emotional understanding here that you got here the 12, here's the 11, and here's the 12, and then you had the 13. 11, 12, 13. The 11 is Libra. The 11 is justice. There is a justice in everything, right? When we understand how it works. And there is, in the Hanged Man, also a pre-stage of the transformation, the enlightenment. And then there is the 13. The biggest transformation that you can go through is to leave time, right? To not be bound by time anymore. And so the Time Master is coming, and guess what? He has an 8 here on his chest where the heart is. And you have the heart, right? You have the heart as your main body part, right? And so you see that the world is testing you in the way you are handling your emotions, and particularly now the wisdom that you gain from it when we understand that the 7 is the emotional intelligence. And so the reading is closing here, right? Speak the truth. Say what you have to say, because you learned your lessons. And so now you understand also why Taurus is coming. Taurus is opposite of Scorpio. And so Taurus needs to integrate Scorpio, and Scorpio needs to integrate Taurus. And so if you want to work with your money, you got to also understand your emotions. What kind of emotions come up when you see a lot of money or have no money? And so this is what the world is facing right now. And so I think you are feeling that, right? As that inner teacher that is giving you the information. Well, the world right now is going through a difficult time, but nevertheless, if you work with the world, if you work with Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn, you understand how to work and still make money. There's no shame in making honest money, right? And that's the emotional intelligence that we all looking for. And so I hope you are able to speak about just that. I hope I see you in the next reading. Taurus. Taurus is here. Sun in Taurus next time. Until then, I thank you so much for being with me. Namaste.